Hello and welcome to episode 17 of the Catching the Facts podcast here on the official Catching the Facts official podcast network. I'm your host, Dan Sisk.
And I'm Schroeder.
And there were we had the first round this week, which was really, really cool. We had two pretty solid games and two atrocious games. So I guess it was better than last year, Eric, where every single first round game was a massacre of biblical proportions, right?
Yeah.
But not great results, but we will talk about each of those games. In addition, we're going to have a couple NFL games to discuss, namely Bears, Packers, and Steelers, Lions. So, Eric, you ready to get started?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, guys. So, starting up with the news roundup this week, Kenny Dillingham has agreed to contract extension with Arizona State. The deal is for 5 years, and he is now getting paid $7.5 million over that duration of time. Annual average payment of $7.5 million. So apparently there are incentives that allow the deal to go up to 10 years if they want to. We'll see if Dillingham can activate those incentives. He's had a pretty mixed run at Arizona State thus far. But I think the big story here, Eric, is that he's out of the running for Michigan, and he was one of the big names that was really being thrown out for that job. So it's just another roadblock for Michigan in the effort to replace Sharon Moore.
Yeah, it is. And they're going to struggle, for a little bit to find a head coach. I mean, look, this was probably going to be the best fit for them, Kenny Dillingham. And then he signs a new contract. I mean, this hurts.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's just what happens. I mean, you
Yeah.
see, and Kenny Dillingham said that he never got offered a job from Michigan. He never got offered that Michigan job. He
Yeah.
said his agent handles communications, and it never got to that point where he was offered the job or heard anything about it. I don't know if I believe that. I mean, I'm sure he was in talks with people about that job. I mean, he was one of the biggest candidates for the position. I mean, what do you think about that? I mean, he had to have known.
I mean, here's the thing. When I feel like I'm an optimist in this situation. When Kalani Sitake was in talks with Penn State, he didn't deny it when he was asked during his press conference. He just kind of skirted around the topic.
Yeah,
I like to believe that Kenny Dillingham was actually telling the truth. But that's
exactly.
just me. I mean, I don't. He could totally be lying, for all I know. But I don't know. I mean, s- either we all know Michigan's athletic department is a disaster. um it's very possible that this leaked, and it was just their
Yeah.
internal discussions that were leaking out. um but no, I think it I don't think Dillingham. I think Dillingham told the truth there. I really do. And I mean, he's an alumni of Arizona State. It would have taken
Right.
a lot to get him to leave. And
Yeah.
he's not going to be one of the highest paid coaches in the sport. I mean, 7.5 is half of basically half of what Kirby Smart, Lane Kiffin, and Ryan Day are getting. But I mean, he deserves that money considering his results at Arizona State. I mean, he's won one conference title. I mean, he doesn't have the resume that I think that warrants a high payday. So I think he knew that, and because of that, he wanted to stay close to home. And I don't blame the man. I think
Yeah.
and also, again, as we just said, the athletic department is under their own investigation because of how many scandals they've been having. If you're Dillingham, I'd be like, get the hell away from me.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say. I mean, he's smart for not taking that job, man. I wouldn't either, no matter how much they're paying me. Like you said, he's an Arizona State graduate. I mean, he wants to be there,
Yeah,
and you can tell. I mean, the fans like him, and he's in a good spot, career wise. And why go to a program that's been crumbling the past 5 years with a bunch of multiple cheating scandals in multiple different
yeah,
ways?
yeah.
There's no need for, and it's almost a. I understand that Michigan is a prestigious program, but right now it almost feels like a step down
In a
with
way, I mean, yeah, you're right.
in a way, not in a way of performance on the field, but in a way of stuff off the field, locker
Yeah,
room
PR,
things. Right,
PR,
PR,
yeah,
exactly. It's just not the best look when he's, and he's not even like you said, he's not a bad coach, he's not a good coach. He's just okay.
yeah.
But there's no need for him to go to a program that's not stable. He's in a good spot right now, and I think he made the right choice.
Yeah, no, and also I think there's genuine fear of him being a scapegoat. I
Mhm.
mean, who wants to be the coach that follows up Harbaugh and Moore? You know,
Right.
two guys that left under really bad circumstances. You know, like
Yeah,
I would
I don't
not
blame
want to
him.
be that coach. I would not want to be that guy. And I think Dillingham is smart. I think he knew that, and I think he was again was part of him was like, get the hell away from me. Now,
Right.
and again, I believe him that they didn't directly speak to him. But I think he, he obviously knew that they were interested in him. He's not dumb. And again, I suspect he went directly to the Arizona State athletic department, was like, you know what, I really don't want to leave, but you got to give me a raise so that I have a good reason to stay. And so they gave him a raise. And, it worked out for him. It worked
Yeah.
out. He's
Yeah.
comfortable there. They love him there. He's done a pretty good job. I mean, look at Scadaboo. He's clearly a good recruiter. They'll be fine. Arizona State will occasionally have the great year, but they're comfortable being where they're at, I think he's comfortable where he is now.
Yeah, good spot for him for sure.
Yeah. That's all I have on that story. What about you?
Yeah, that's all I got.
Okay, guys, this came out right before we went live. Notre Dame and USC have decided to pause their classic rivalry. They will not be playing next year. The Fighting Irish have announced that their last open date will be a road game against BYU, as well as a home game against BYU. It's going to be a home and home series. So they will not be playing USC next year. Um, I just, Eric, this program truly disgusts me. They whine and moan to, they wax poetic to anyone who would listen, and that wasn't a lot of people who were actually sympathetic. Let's just be honest. Um, they wax poetic about how they were robbed. They choose to whine and moan and stay out of the bowl game, whereas BYU is actually playing in the game. I'd like to add BYU, sucked it up and is playing. Um, and now they're just, and now they're choosing to get rid of their classic rivalry game against a team that they know will be solid. I mean, Lincoln Riley has failed to be elite at USC, but he's definitely delivered respectable teams, right? And to get rid of that game is just absolutely awful. Pete Bavacqua, the AD at Notre Dame, he should be ashamed of himself. This program's a disgrace. They make me sick just talking about them. Just thinking about them makes me nauseous. It really, and I mean that from the heart. Um, yeah. I just wanted to yell about Notre Dame. That's all I want. That's the only reason I wanted to do this story. I just hate them with every fiber of my being. I really do. I really, really do.
Yeah, I mean, this would have been the, what, 97th game from them?
It's iconic. You can't get rid of it.
No, no, and it started what, like back in the 1920s. They've been going strong for how long? They've only paused it, I think, one time. And why pause it now? I mean, you're playing, in USC. I mean, dude, like the way that Notre Dame's been scheduling even this year, and which is probably the reason they're not in the playoffs because they lose big games. They're scared of them. It sounds like.
Yeah.
USC is not the powerhouse they once were, but they're
No.
still a good team and they're always up. They're always in the top 25. Why
Uh-huh.
are we getting rid of this rivalry? I mean, it's ridiculous. That's one of their best opponents all year that they're going to play, and one of their biggest rivals, and they're just going to get rid of it like that. It doesn't really make any sense to me. And I don't think it's right, and it's just silly. I mean, Notre Dame's been in some hot water recently with just their decision making, even at the end of this year, and then now to begin the next 2 years. It's like, what are we doing? This program's taking a step back, and it's showing kind of lack of maturity almost.
Yeah, and don't forget that the ACC is trying to, ice them out and
Right.
not giving them like any games practically. Um, so that's going to hurt their scheduling even more. And we already discussed their NBC contract situation, um, in a previous episode. We talked about that last week, right? Or it might have been the week before. Um, I'm not going to repeat myself. You guys can just go listen to that episode. But yeah, Notre Dame's in a world of hell. And they did
Yep.
it to themselves, so I have no sympathy.
Yeah, I mean, all of these decisions are are them. I mean, they're like you said, they're doing it to themselves. There's nobody's making them stay out of a bowl game. It's
Nope.
just, and I understand you could argue that they got, snubbed or whatever from the playoffs. They didn't, but people say they did. Notre Dame fans especially. And
Yeah.
it's just like, why are we so focused on that? You got left out the playoff because you're not very good. You lost a lot of, ranked games this year against ranked opponents to begin the year, and it showed that you're not an elite program. I don't care what you do against Northern Illinois.
Yeah.
That doesn't matter. If you beat them 70-0, who cares?
Exactly.
It matters what you do against Texas A&M or Miami, and they lost both of those games,
Yep.
and it doesn't make any sense. And like I said before, now they're getting rid of one of their best opponents. It just hurts them even more, and they're in a world of hurt right now. And if they were mad about not making the playoffs this year, what are they going to do in following years when they're deliberately just sabotaging themselves at this point?
Exactly. With the USC rivalry now up and down, and if I'm BYU, look, if I'm BYU, if I'm being, let's just be totally fair. I think BYU was right to take this offer from Notre Dame. I think this home
Yeah,
and home series is a good idea. One away, an away game in 2026, a home game in 2027. I think that's I don't blame BYU, but if I were BYU after that, I tell them to hike it. I'd be
right.
like, I wouldn't give them the game. BYU's get a lot of money from this and a lot of ratings. And especially for the home game, of course, because that one um, won't be on NBC. And again, I think they were right to take this offer. But because again, BYU, their only two games of note were Texas Tech both times, and they got shelled. So I think from BYU's perspective, they just wanted another elite team on their schedule. So I get the move from BYU's point, but that BYU contract is only for 2 years. The ACC wants to ice him out. If I'm USC, I try to ice him out too. And suddenly Notre Dame has like no games,
Yeah,
and it's gonna be it'll be near impossible for the schedule that they have to get into the playoff because the I think the playoff committee is working off an antiquated mentality, Eric. Where I mean, we talked about how ridiculous that rule was, where if they finish in the top 12, they're guaranteed a slot.
yeah,
That's a ridiculous rule. Um, it's going to be hard to put them in the top 12 prior to conference championship week.
yeah,
It's going to be really difficult. And if the ACC ices them out, and I hope the ACC has the stones to do that because they this program is truly becoming a pariah to the sport, and it's just a shame to see such an amazing rivalry, really a great rivalry. I know it's not what it once was, but it really is still a lot of fun to watch, even though it was had lower ratings than LSU Vanderbilt that week, which was really funny. But despite that, it's still a great game and a great rivalry, and it sucks that it's going away, but I think that it really shows, as you said, a lack of maturity on the part of Notre Dame, and we 5 years from now, that program is not going to be what it is now, which is a good thing. It will be
yeah, for
better for
sure.
the sport. It'll be better for the fans, and the hardcore Notre Dame fans are probably going to be doing anything and everything to defend their team, and I don't blame them, but you know us hardcore fans like you and me, Eric, who actually watch this stuff, we know the truth, and
Yep.
It's just frustrating. So it's a shame. It really is. Great rivalry. I'm sad to see it go. That's all I have on that story. What about you?
Yeah, that's all I had.
Okay, guys, last story. DK Metcalf tried to punch a fan, partially collided. I believe he hit like the edge of his face. I don't think it was a full on sucker punch, but he did punch a Lions fan who allegedly called him the N word and his mother the C word. Which was interesting to read, to say the least. And he has been suspended for 2 games. Um, you had to do it, man. I mean, you had to let them go. You had to suspend him. I thought it would be for 3 games. I'm surprised it was only for 2. Um, but he had to get suspended. That was really bad. The video is just atrocious. So it was the right call. I don't know what your thoughts on that whole situation were.
Yeah, I mean, you can't be, you can mess with players all you want. Player to player, like when you're on the field, you can push them around, whatever. But don't go into the stands and start, we don't want another malice at the palace, man. It's like
Yeah. Yeah.
what like in DK Metcalf, I mean, what is he doing? Like, so he got on top of the 2 game suspension, he's also got fined $555,000 as well
Oh,
for striking the fan in the face. Um, yeah, it's ridiculous. I don't understand it. Um, it doesn't make any sense. Why? I don't. And the guys came out and said like I didn't call him whatever he said. I called him.
yeah.
I just said his full name.
Yeah.
Um,
What else is he gonna say though?
Right. Well, yeah, he's not gonna say, yeah, I called him, a racial slur and his, mama terrible word. But
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, what do like, I don't know, man. It's just apparently DK has history with this fan, because back in when DK was in Seattle, he reported this same exact fan to the airport, the security, the event security. So like this guy has just been terrorizing DK. He didn't punch him last time, but I guess DK's had enough of this guy, and he finally decides to punch him in the face, I guess, which is
Yeah.
like what some people need, but. You gotta calm down. I mean, you're one of the faces of the league. You're one of the best players in the league. People look up to you. That's not something that should be done really ever. You shouldn't be laying hands on anybody, especially a fan, when you're DK Metcalf. And you got to be able to control your emotions, and especially such a high intense game.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. Couldn't agree more. Just not the way to conduct yourself from either
No,
party, and that fan is probably going to be suspended for life.
he might
And that
get paid though. I mean, he got it.
he might. Yeah.
He might
He
get paid.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, it was crazy to watch that on TV, man. I mean, it was like a George Pickens action, like
Yeah, honestly, man,
you don't get to
that's
see that.
exactly what I thought when I saw that.
Yeah, I was like, did George get cut and signed earlier
Yes.
today that I didn't know about? It was very odd, but yeah, it was a bad look. That's all I have on that story. What about you?
Yep, that is all I had.
Okay, guys, then for the last news story, this was a very last minute addition to the show, so I want to apologize to Eric for dropping this on him last minute, but this was a big story. The Kansas City Chiefs are leaving Missouri, guys. They are moving to Kansas, and they are moving to Kansas in 2031. Arrowhead Stadium will be no longer the home of the Kansas City Chiefs. We'll see what they do with that stadium. I mean, it's a decent venue. I mean, it's not like the Oakland Coliseum where the Raiders were desperate to get the hell out. So we'll see what happens to that venue. I mean, I would imagine they would try to retrofit it into something. We'll see what they do. But yeah, this is a big move, man. The Kansas City Chiefs will no longer be the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't know how I feel about that. That's really weird, right? I mean, why would you
Yeah.
want to go to Kansas? There's nothing in Kansas. Okay? There's nothing in Kansas, guys. Have you ever seen The Wizard of Oz and she's in Kansas and the movie's in black and white? You want to know a secret? They filmed that in Technicolor. That's what Kansas looks like. Okay, there's nothing out there. There's nothing out there at all. I just this seems like a very, very strange move that was made purely for financial reasons, and I only
Yeah.
see negatives for the fans. I don't know what your take on this is. I just feel like this is a huge mistake on the part of the Chiefs, and I think that this is awful. I really do. I think it's horrible.
Yeah, it's a mistake fan wise. I mean, they've built such a great fan base in Kansas City. The city, I mean, they're always selling out games. They're one of the loudest stadiums in the NFL.
Yeah.
But I do think it's a good move financially, and that's the only reason they did it. They don't care about what the fans have to say. They don't. That shows they don't care about
You're
their
right, but
fans at
that's
all.
sad. You're right, but that's sad. That's just a real shame, that
I
they
mean,
don't care.
it's true. I mean, as much as harsh as it sounds, they don't care. You think the billionaire sitting up in the suite cares about what some dude sitting in level 200 thinks? No, he's
No,
gonna
they don't.
move to what's best for the team and what's best for him financially.
I agree.
I mean, yeah, it sucks. You know, like I said, they built such a good fan base there. Um, and even like all the guys on the team that they love the city. What they do for the city is amazing. And they kind of put Kansas City on the map in a way because I
Yeah,
mean they have really no other sports teams, so it's just the Chiefs, and that was perfect marketing for the Chiefs. They were in a smaller market, just running rampant and just taking the NFL by storm.
yeah,
Why move? What are they gonna be? What are they gonna be called now? Like the Missouri
yeah.
Chiefs or whatever, the Kansas Chiefs or
The
whatever.
Kansas Chiefs. What do you? I don't know. I mean, look, Kansas City is on the state line. There is a
Yeah,
possibility that it move. They stay the Kansas City Chiefs, but I mean,
yeah,
it'll be weird to call them the Kansas City Chiefs, yet they're not in Missouri.
right, man.
I know it's on the line,
They're
but
just in a city in Kansas.
exactly. So, I mean, we'll see. As for Arrowhead, I don't really care. I mean, I've obviously never been there. It
Yeah.
looks like a decent venue.
Well, it is the third oldest stadium as well.
Sure, but my understanding is that they haven't really had a lot of, maintenance. Oakland Coliseum was literally falling apart. Sewage was pouring onto
Yeah.
the concourse
Yep.
weekly. I mean, that's not the case with Arrowhead. So I guess, it does suck to lose that history. But
Yeah.
yeah, man. I mean,
Oh.
it's just odd. It's just
Yeah,
odd.
it is. And they're moving to a domed stadium, which Arrowhead is not a domed stadium. And you're gonna start seeing that a lot more. Teams are starting to build more dome stadium. The Browns have a dome stadium in the works. The Bills do as well, and it's because they want to host Super Bowls. That's a main reason, and that's a huge market. That's a lot of money, just because. I mean, it's a lot of money just because you have a open stadium. You can't host a Super Bowl.
Yeah,
So you're missing out on a lot of money just for that very reason. And
yeah.
so they're moving to a dome stadium. I don't know if they're moving to like a pre-existing one or they're gonna build one. Um,
Probably
but
build one if they're announcing for 2031.
right, exactly. Yeah. They're building one. So I mean, I don't know. I don't. It's an interesting decision. Um, I don't know what to really think of it, to be honest. I mean, I don't hate to the deal, I guess, but it just sucks for those fans, man. I feel bad for them.
Yeah, man. I just it's just such an odd choice on their part. I mean,
Yeah,
again,
no.
I look, I'm not one for I'm not a Kansas City fan, but I am a history fan, particularly
Hmm.
of sports history, and I really feel that they're losing a lot by by doing this. I mean, look, I'm all for it, and I'm looking it up as we went along, and there is a Kansas City, Kansas in Wyandotte County, and that is where this stadium will be built. So they are going to still be
Ah,
the Kansas City Chiefs.
that is so
Um,
strange, man.
that is going to be yeah. Can you imagine Kansas City, Kansas is a suburb of Kansas City, Missouri.
Yeah,
So they are going to still be the Kansas City Chiefs. But yeah, it's just strange. I mean, they want to host Super Bowls and all that. And look, that's awesome. I would want that too. But do you really think Kansas City, Kansas is going to hold crowds for the Super Bowl? Like, let's just be honest, people. Kansas City, Kansas. I mean, let's come on. So, I don't know. I don't want to be a hater. They did it again, they did it for the money.
yeah,
But I just I'd be curious to see how logistically that will work because this just seems like a recipe for disaster. Now, to be fair, like for example, the Atlanta Braves, they built a stadium about 10 years ago, and they built it out like in a suburb of Atlanta. And they were about to host an all-star game and they were all prepared for it. And then for various reasons they didn't host that MLB All-Star game. That's a whole other conversation. But it's not impossible for suburbs to host these kinds of big events, but that's Georgia. This is Kansas.
right.
Okay, like there are tiers. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, man, I mean, without like if it wasn't a situation like the Oakland Coliseum where the building was literally falling apart, I'm in favor of keeping the history. And it does suck to lose some of the history, but you know,
Yeah,
these days money.
I don't understand. It's not like they're moving, 7 hours away. I mean, they're just moving, uh, maybe 30, 40 minutes,
Yeah,
from the actual stadium. It doesn't make too much sense because, like you said, the stadium seems like it's in good shape, so
yeah. It just sucks to lose the history.
yeah, yeah, for Almo, yeah, I completely agree. Yep.
Yeah. Okay, that's all I have on that. What about you?
Yeah, that's all I had.
Okay, guys, we are going to move on to the games. We're going to start with the first round games, and we'll go in the order that they aired. So we're going to start with Alabama versus Oklahoma. Eric, what was going on here?
Yeah, so Alabama beats Oklahoma in a great game, 34-24. Great comeback from Alabama. I thought they were done. Right
They
when
were
Oklahoma went
dead.
up 17-0, I thought this game was over. And
Yeah,
honestly, going into the game, I thought the game was gonna really not be that close between these two because of what Alabama did in the SEC championship. But boy, was I wrong. I mean, what a great game from Alabama. Ty Simpson, 18 for 29, 232 yards, 2 touchdowns. That's a great game. And then Jeremy Bernard, man, he had one of the best catches we've seen in a while, right on
excellent.
top of the guy's head. I mean, just so many playmakers just stepping up in big moments of this game. And even on Oklahoma's side, I mean, John Mateer had a decent game. He went 26 for 41. That's not great, but he had 307 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick six actually,
Yeah,
which got all the momentum back on Alabama's sideline. It was bad, bad game for Oklahoma. Now to start the game, it wasn't bad, but the way they finished was just so bad. Poor execution. They
yeah,
outplayed Alabama in, yards, first downs, their down efficiency. They even had more sacks than them. And Alabama punted more times. I mean, Oklahoma did everything right, but win the game. So
yeah,
their
yeah,
defense just crumbled when it mattered most, and that just can't happen. John Mateer, I mean, we've said it before. Not the same since his injury, and he played okay this game, but it doesn't matter. You can't just play okay in a playoff game. You got to play great, especially when you're playing Alabama.
yeah. I guess the only big negative I really want to throw on Alabama right now, Ryan Williams. We need to stop with this hype.
Oh,
Can
dude,
we? Can we please
we've talked
stop?
about
Ugh,
yes, yeah,
ridiculous. I'm over him.
me
Done.
too. People need to stop saying that people are living in the past of last year, and even if you look at last year, I understand that you can say that he's number two, but you can't say he's number one. Jeremiah Smith had one of the best. He had the best freshman season last year, and it wasn't
Yeah.
even close. Ryan Williams was like 200 yards out from Jeremiah Smith with like more receptions. And now this year just proves it, right? And we've talked about this multiple times. Every time we could bring up Alabama, his struggles, and he's not improving at all. You think he would come up in the one of the biggest games of his career so far? He did nothing this game. He had one reception for what, like 5 yards?
Yeah.
I mean, what is he doing out there? Is he's just running around? And I
Yeah.
understand you could say that he's being doubled or he's almost as a distraction piece for other openings in the offense, which is fine. But if you're one of the top receivers even in that recruiting class he was, you have to play better than that. And it's like Arch Manning. I mean, there's so much hype around him, but Ryan Williams lived up to the hype in his freshman season.
Yeah.
He has taken one of the biggest drop-offs I've ever seen. I don't know what went wrong this year, but something needs to change, and he's got to turn around, or he's gonna be falling in that draft way far.
Yeah, man. I watch him run around and he actually looks like a chicken with his head cut off. I don't think
Yeah,
he
he
has
yeah.
any idea. I don't think he has any idea how to work with Simpson. Like
No,
any he has
Milrow, and that's another thing. Like Simpson's more of a pocket passer. Yeah, he can run.
yeah,
I think Jalen Milrow's athletic ability really helped him out. Jalen Milrow is a great athlete.
sure.
Um, and he was throwing on the ball, and it was just Jalen Murray was able to get out of pressure and scramble, and where Ryan Williams can kind of do his own thing. Ryan Williams is not the best route runner. I understand he can go up and high point a football. That's great. Every D1 college football receiver should be able to do that if you're playing at a top SEC school. You should be able to high point a football. That's super easy.
Yeah.
Anyone can do it. You have to be a good route runner too. His route tree is terrible. He runs slants and go balls, and that's it. And he never gets open because teams have figured it out. I mean,
Yeah.
it's ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I co-sign everything you said. I just no chemistry with Simpson at all. I
No.
truly believe that he has the raw talent. But he's not
Yeah.
harnessed, and I just
Hmm.
I'm over him. I don't care.
Me too. Yeah.
I if he is picked higher than the 4th round, the team whoever drafts him should be ashamed. I
Yeah.
just
He's gonna be.
ugh.
I I mean, if we're seeing this level of drop off right now, man, if he doesn't step it up next year, I mean, dude, we might be talking like, like you said, 4th round, 5th round, and he's
Yeah,
gonna be a bust. I mean, it's hard to be a bust when you get drafted in the 4th round, but when you
yeah,
have so much talent coming out of, recruitment, you're a 5-star receiver. You should be living up to the hype, at least 1st, 2nd round talent. This is one of the, I mean, he's falling off already, which is not good.
yeah. If this happened just in the first half of the year, I get it.
Hmm.
New quarterback, new play calling, new scheming, new blocking schemes. I get it. I understand. But this is happening all year. This is a critical first round playoff game on the road after you got annihilated by Georgia and you have one catch for 5 yards. That is a bad look, man. I mean, that is really, really bad. Yeah, it is appalling to see his drop off. That's just insane to me. It's really hard to believe it, to be honest. I mean, it's hard to see how a quarterback, excuse me, how a wide receiver with that much ability, um, just has, I don't want to say squandered it, but has failed to harness it.
Yeah.
It's just really, really a shame. That's all I wanted to say about Alabama. Let's talk about Oklahoma. What a choke. My God. You had this game in the palm of your hand. As Eric said, guys, 17-0. The game, the world was their oyster. And you go out and you lay the biggest egg you possibly can at home. I defended this team, Eric. I supported them. I said that their offense was really struggling, but I believed in this defense. Boy, do I look like an idiot today. I look like an idiot right now because these losers could not do what I expected them to do. They allowed Alabama's offense to just I mean, they did nothing. They just did nothing of value. The special teams was atrocious. Ty Simpson only had 232 passing yards. It's not like he blew up the game. I mean, you had everything going for you. You shut down Alabama's running game almost entirely, and you give them 34 points with that stat line. That's just crazy to me, dude. That is
Yeah.
horrible, horrible defense and horrible special teams play. Um, 24 points against Alabama. I mean, I don't know how impressed I'm supposed to be by that. We've talked about how this Alabama team is a definite step down. I mean, that Florida State loss really looks bad at this point. Um, so 24 points with a quarterback who's recovering from injury, fine, but you can't play defense and special teams like that. You just
Yeah.
can't.
Yeah,
If you
yeah, the punter dropped the ball too, I forgot about that.
Yep,
I mean,
just so bad.
so many mistakes, so many bad mistakes that just cost them the game.
Yeah.
If the punter gets the ball off right there, I mean, that's 7 points.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, the pick six, obviously. I mean,
Right.
they had everything going for them at home. That environment. I mean, that's a huge spot on a Friday night, right? And boneheaded mistakes do them in.
Yep.
That is the worst way to lose, dude. If you lost because Alabama was just an objectively better team, fine. They're more physical. You know, they're more commanding. They dominate on the ground. I get it. But to lose like that with boneheaded mistakes, it just made me angry, and I'm not even an Oklahoma fan. I mean, it was hard to watch, and yeah, man. I just oof.
Yeah.
Oof. Not good. Um
Not good at all.
yeah, we'll talk about the quarterfinals probably at the end of this episode. So we'll talk about more Alabama more then. But right now, yeah, postmortem on Oklahoma. If your quarterback doesn't get hurt, this probably would have gone down differently. That's a tough pill to swallow, but it's sports. Things happen, and I think it would be wise of Oklahoma fans to just accept it and move on. You know,
Yeah.
it's tough, but it happens.
Yep.
Okay, that's all I have on that game. What about you?
Yeah, that's all I got.
Okay, guys, moving on. We had Miami versus Texas A&M. Eric, what was going on here?
I'll tell you what was going on. It was snooze fest, man. Both these offenses look terrible, and it's not like it was really awesome defense.
No.
These quarterbacks and running. I mean, they none of these offenses could get anything going. Their game plan looked weak. It looked like some Pop Warner football game was going on.
Yeah.
It was terrible. Carson Beck is not good. I'm tired of hearing him. Carson Beck praise. He's not been good this year, and he was never good. He went 14 for 20, 103 yards and a touchdown. That's a horrible stat line. The person that we really should be talking about is Mark Fletcher Jr., man. 17 carries, 172 yards, no touchdowns, but that is such a good game for him. And
Yeah.
he commanded the offense. I mean, that's the reason they won. It
Yeah.
wasn't Carson Beck leading his troops to victory. It was
Yeah.
Mark Fletcher Jr. battling it out in the trenches on a decent, honestly, a pretty good Texas A&M defense. It was
Yeah.
really impressive. Marcel Reed, he's impressed me. He's okay. I want to see him succeed. I like Marcel. He just hasn't really stepped up.
He
He
was
choked.
awful.
He throws an interception in the end zone the last play of the game. That's
Yeah.
not what you want to see. He went 25 for 39, 237 yards, no touchdowns. And he threw 2 picks. I mean, that's not the stat line you want in the biggest game of the year up to this point. That's not good at all. So yeah, I mean, none of these offenses played good. It was just sloppy quarterback play
Yeah.
from 2 quarterbacks who aren't really that good. I mean, it's no surprise.
Yeah, man. I was cheering Marcel Reed on. We were calling him one of the best dual threats in the sport. and look at what he did. He did nothing on the ground,
Yeah.
absolutely nothing. Um, just missing wide open receivers constantly. I was Christmas shopping while this game was happening, and I was watching on my phone while I was walking around Westmoreland Mall. And I think that I got some bug eyes from people as I was walking by because obviously there were sports fans in there, and I think a lot of them were like, "Why the hell are you watching that garbage?"
Yeah.
And I don't blame them. I mean, I was standing in lines buying presents, and it was embarrassing to have that on your phone while people are walking by, and you're trying to get Christmas gifts. Um, Marcel Reed was so bad.
He
He was
was.
so
And
bad. Oh,
yeah,
brutal
it
game. I
it
mean,
it
the
wa it was
offenses
terrible.
were horrible. Horrible, horrible, horrible. They A&M, we praised Mike Elko. I stand by our praises, what we both said, but this team, I mean, I totally see why Texas beat them. I get it, guys. I understand. I mean, this team, I ugh, what a brutal way to lose. I mean, I don't want to say again, I'm not a fan at all, but like having a season like that and then just losing your last two games like that,
Yeah.
that's brutal. I mean, that's a hard way to end a season, but yeah, man, I think that Miami just knew how to handle the dual threat, and Beck did just enough. And by just enough, I mean nothing at all. To win the game. And you said it yourself, Mark Fletcher single handedly won the game, and that was he was enough at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So I mean, horrible game. This was a worse game than any game last year. This
Oh,
game
yeah.
was so bad.
I
It
would
was
rather
so
watch a blowout and an actual team, having a good display of offense
yes.
than whatever this was. I mean, this was terrible.
Yeah, man, this was just so bad. Well, again, we'll talk about the quarterfinals at the end of the episode, but Ohio State is going to slaughter this team. They are going to wipe the floor with Miami, and I'm honestly so excited to see it. I am ready for Beck to just be depressed on the sideline every time the camera shows him. It's just I'm done. I'm done with both these teams. These teams are not good. I'm not willing to say horrible, but A&M to do that at home in the playoff. Oh my god.
Such an embarrassment.
Inexcusable.
This is way worse than the Oklahoma loss. Way miles worse.
I agree. And Oklahoma, that was a pretty bad choke.
Oh, it
This
was
is
terrible. But
this is worse. I agree.
they at least showed up for a little bit. They had hope.
Yes. You're
I
right.
mean, I was watching this game and there was zero. I mean, they didn't even score a touchdown. They scored 3 points.
Yeah.
How are you not going to score a touchdown in one of the best atmospheres in college football?
Yep.
You have home field advantage, playoff game. It's rocking. You don't show up. I mean, it's as simple as this. This game was won in the trenches, obviously with Mark Fletcher Jr. running all over them for 172 yards. But Marcel Reed was sacked 7 times, man.
Yeah. Brutal.
And we were saying, oh, he's such a good dual threat. How are you getting sacked 7 times? Throw the ball away or something. I mean, that's so bad.
Yeah, man.
I don't
I
understand. I
agree.
don't even understand how that's possible. And they
Neither do
still had
I.
more total yards than them, more first downs. It doesn't make any sense. I don't understand. They ran like 30 more plays than Miami and didn't they ran 75 plays and only scored 3 points. That's one of the worst offenses I've ever seen.
Yeah. I Yeah, you hit it on the head, man. I don't have anything to add. I
That's
just
it for me too. I'm done. Get this off my screen.
terrible game, man. I was miserable watching this. As miserable as one can be when shopping during the holidays.
Yeah,
At
I'm
least that
surprised.
at least that gave me joy. Nothing else did during this
I mean, I'm
game.
surprised they found, they always post the highlights on YouTube. I'm surprised they found 26 minutes of highlights from this game.
I am too. What highlights are there? Every sack? We don't need
Yeah,
to watch
it
that. Just
honestly
have it.
might be Carson Beck throwing the ball out of bounds. Like, what are we doing
Yeah,
here?
yeah, really. We held them to a missed field goal, and also all the missed field goals. I almost forgot that. I think there were
Yeah,
5 between both teams. Um, Jesus, this just come on. And that
so
in and
bad.
of itself is so bad when again we consider how good kickers are now.
I know, man. Now,
Oh,
obviously, the college kicker is always gonna be a little shaky,
of
but
course.
still, Miami kicker missed 3 times.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. 4 missed kicks.
Yeah. Still, I
Whatever.
mean, it's
Horrible.
so bad, and they were makeable. I don't know. I'm done talking about
I
this
am
game. It was
too.
so bad.
Agreed. We'll talk about Miami a little bit more at the end.
Yeah, the viewers don't wanna hear this anymore.
No, I don't want to think about it either. Okay, guys, moving on to the next game. We had Tulane at Ole Miss. Erica, was going on there?
Yeah, so Tulane, they get killed. 10-41. Ole Miss wins it. Big win for Ole Miss. I'm happy for him considering what happened with the Lane Kiffin situation of him
Yeah,
leaving. Trinidad Chambliss, we know he's good. He's been good all year. He went
excellent
23
game.
for 29, 282 yards and a touchdown, no interceptions, clean game. And then Kawan Lacey was injured for most of this game, but he came back. 15 carries, 87 yards and a touchdown. That's another great game on the ground for them. Just a very complete game from Ole Miss. I understand they're playing Tulane, but you still got to show up. You can't play down to your opponent. You know, Jake Retzlaff, he's not a scrub. You know, he transferred from BYU and Cal as well. So he's not a scrub. You know, he went
Yeah,
20 for 35, 305 yards, touchdown. Yeah, he threw a pick, but the main thing is they only scored 10 points.
yeah.
I understand like the rest of the offense is pretty much non-existent, other than Jake Retzlaff and Shaz Preston. But I mean, there was really no expectations for them in this game. They did what they had to do. They probably got paid, and that's really it. I mean, this Ole Miss did what they had to do.
Yeah, man. I mean, look, Tulane, Jake Retzlaff was all over the place. I mean, he was
Crazy
missing.
offseason.
Yeah, yeah. But he was I mean, he had a QBR of 37.5. I mean, that's a bad game. That's not good. He was all over the place. He got a lot of checkdowns,
Yeah.
like a lot. And again, you're not going to beat Ole Miss with checkdowns. I mean, just ask the Steelers. Um, I mean, we knew that Tulane didn't have a chance in hell. Um, this was more so about like an execution game for Ole Miss under the leadership of Pete Golding, and Pete Golding called a really good game. I liked what he did. I'm sure he's not in charge of all of the offensive play calling for Ole Miss, as was a DC under Lane Kiffin. But yeah, man, Trinidad Chambliss had one of the best games of the season, one of his best games this year in against Tulane. This was a really, really much needed comeback game for Trinidad, because we've been talking about how even though Ole Miss has won recently, post the Georgia loss, they've been shaky, right? So this was a much needed victory, slam dunk victory, let's say, for Trinidad Chambliss to kind of re-solidify himself. I also think, and we have to factor this in, I think that Lane leaving and Pete Golding coming in gave the team a jolt in a way, because I think the
Yeah.
team really wanted to show him up and prove him wrong for ditching them in the middle of the playoff. I think he wanted to prove a point. I think he wanted to make a statement. Um, and I think they did. I think they did. This was a very, very, very clean game, as you said, from Ole Miss, a statement victory. And yeah, not much to say because we knew this would happen, but it was just really solid execution on the part of Ole Miss, and Tulane just does not have the physicality to keep up with them for 4 quarters. That's just how it
Yeah.
goes. You
I
know,
mean, yeah, they made a statement, but do you think Lane Kiffin cares? I mean, he doesn't care.
I don't think he does, but I mean, I think the
Yeah.
team cares, and I think
For
that
sure, for sure. Yeah,
that's
it
what's
lit a fire
important.
under them.
Exactly. I think that's what's important.
Yeah.
I think that's at the end of the day what's gonna be the the difference. So
Yeah, I mean, that's really all you need, man. If you get a motivated team, you can go deep.
yeah. I mean, look, the reality is that a lot of these succession plans have not worked out. Look at Sharon Moore. He's
Right.
hired as the head coach in Michigan because he was close with Harbaugh, and that obviously did not work out. Um, I think it was definitely a risk to hire Pete Golding, because again, you obviously want to keep the goodwill going, but you don't know if it'll work. Um, but again, this was a really solid execution game against a really solid team in Tulane.
Oh, yeah.
Let's not, give them
Great year
they
for
won
them.
their conference. So they're not scrubs. They're a respectable FBS school. But, I mean, there's a reason their head coach just got the Florida job.
Yep.
But I think we have to acknowledge that you know, a lot of these succession plans don't work. When we talk about the fact that Pete Golding made a really good first impression, and that's important, especially in a game, admittedly at home, but on the biggest stage in the playoff. I mean, that's a tough spot for your first game. That's really, really hard. And he called a really solid game. I liked what he did with Kawan Lacey a lot. He used Trinidad Chambliss enough to keep them on their toes. I mean, he got Trinidad Chambliss had 2 rushing TDs. So he was able to use Chambliss effectively in the end zone. Again, I really liked his play calling. I don't know how successful it'll be next week. We'll talk about that. But this was a good first impression. So yeah, solid
Yep.
game for Ole
100%.
Miss. Again, I
Yep.
feel bad for their fans having to put up with this shit, but what that's all I have for that game. What about you?
Yeah, that's all I had.
Okay, guys, moving on to a game that I can only describe as really strange. I don't know how else to describe it. We have JMU visiting Oregon. Eric, what was going on there?
Yeah, Oregon beats JMU by a lot, but they also let up a lot of points. They beat them
Yeah.
34 to 51. Um, 51. I mean, they hung 50 on their heads, but
Yeah.
I mean, that's unreal, you know. But it's just like I don't know. It was expected, and people are saying, yeah, get JMU in the playoffs. I mean, I was even saying it earlier in the year. Because I mean, it's good for the program. It's good for the fans. It's not necessarily what the entire nation wants to see, but it's what James Madison University wants to see and get publicity out there.
Yeah.
So that's good for them. Now, I have a question for you, just in general, for the playoffs. Should we just leave out teams like James Madison and Tulane, and should we just put the best 12 teams in the playoffs to get the best result?
Um, well, I think that the rule about the 5 conference champions, that was clearly made to benefit the Big 12, ACC, and Group of 5 conferences, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I guess now Group of 6. I always forget the Pac-12's now now one of them. Um, I mean, it's really hard, man. The ACC did not have a school worthy of the top 12. I just you can argue that a group of 16 didn't deserve it either, but again, the rules say a group of 6 school can get in, and I think it
Yep.
would be horribly unfair, um, for a group of 16 to practically never have an opportunity to make the top 12. I mean, you would have to have a generational run like Cincinnati did a few years ago to even have a chance, right? So, I mean, it's a tough spot. You want to give those schools an opportunity. I think no one would say anything if it was just Tulane. But
Yeah.
the fact that you have both Tulane and JMU, um, I think that's what speaks volumes. And I think, again, the reality is that it's more of an indictment. And we discussed this on the ACC. This is an indictment on the fact that that conference cannot produce consistent quality football to save their lives. Um, and they were so bad this year that their conference champion did not get in. They're a team that didn't make the conference championship game made it in, and 2 group of 6 teams got in. I mean, that's very damning on the part of the ACC. That's a horrible look. And again, so I think it's fine because again, I think the fact that JMU is in is an indictment of the ACC. You can't get upset at the committee for that. You have to
Right.
get upset at the ACC for putting out trash football. Like we should be focusing on the ACC in this conversation. We shouldn't be talking about JMU. We should be happy for JMU. And again, we both were. We were so happy when JMU got in.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel it is. I feel it's deserved. I feel JMU did what they had to do, and they scored 34 points at Oregon.
Yeah, man. Very impressive.
So I honestly want to talk about Oregon here, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
I know they scored 51, but they were at home against JMU. You give up 34 points to James Madison at home. I don't care that James Madison is having a great year. That is horrible. That is so bad. And I don't want to hear, oh, well, it was garbage time. Dante Moore threw 2 picks. Okay? You should not be throwing 2 picks against James Madison. Okay? You shouldn't. You're Oregon. You should not be doing that. James Madison does not have the physicality. They don't have the speed, the strength, nothing. They have nothing, and you let them do that? Oh, we've been back and forth on Oregon, right? That Penn State loss, or excuse me, that Penn State victory looks not good right now. We've been saying that for weeks. Obviously, the loss to Indiana was bad by a multi-score, by multiple scores at home. They struggle a bit against Wisconsin. They struggle a bit at Iowa. I mean, this team has not been. They're not the same. They're not the same. And all you need to see to prove that is that they scored 34. They gave up 34 points against James Madison.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just not good.
No.
Next week is not going to go well for them. It's not going to go well for them. It's just it's not. And yeah, man, I just don't think they have what it takes to beat the best of the best. I just don't.
Yeah.
And Dan Lanning's one of the top 5 coaches in the sport, but he has not done a great job assembling this roster.
Well, he's top 5, but I mean, what has he done, man? Like, what has he done to prove that he's top 5?
I mean, he won a conference title. He won a conference title. I mean, that says.
I guess, but then he gets killed in the playoffs.
Yeah, you're right about
year.
that. You're right about that. I think he's a very good coach.
I agree. I agree. I agree. I'm not discrediting him, but
no, we agreed that he's not best of the best, but
yeah.
I think he's still very good.
Yep.
But a very good coach should not be giving up 34 points at home to James Madison.
Right. Yeah.
They're going to use the garbage time excuse. I'm already seeing it online.
I mean, dude, garbage time. You can't score 34 points in garbage time.
Exactly.
I mean, there's got to be at some point where your defense just, breaks, and it did. I mean, Alonzo Barrett the third, man, 273 yards on 48 passes, and 2 touchdowns. I mean, that's an unreal stat line. It's not good, but then you get Wayne Knight, who's just kind of honestly running all over them. He had 17 carries, 110 yards, no touchdowns, but that's a very good game against, what people were saying was one of the top defenses in the nation. I mean, James Madison honestly exceeded expectations. Do you agree?
Yeah, they really did, man. They really did.
Yeah.
I'm happy for that. I'm happy for that program. I'm happy for the fans. Again, we knew they wouldn't win, but this was more entertaining than Tulane and Ole Miss and Miami, Texas A&M. This was more entertaining than either of those games. They played valiantly. They were making a lot of plays on Oregon. If I am, other teams in the playoff, I'm watching this James Madison game very closely because James Madison exposed them. They really did. They were getting a lot.
And you can say anything you want.
Yeah, I mean they were Eric. They were completing a lot of 2nd and 7s.
Yeah,
Like a lot of small passes They weren't ultimately scoring a ton of points again until garbage time, but they were gaining yardage. They were not going 3-and-out. And again, to do that to not hold James Madison to a number of 3-and-outs is very telling to me.
Right.
So we'll see what happens going forward, but I don't see a happy ending for the Oregon Ducks. I love their mascot, though. It will be sad to see that duck in pain.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, this is probably the last thing, but I mean, they're vulnerable. Like you said,
Yeah,
um, Dante Moore did not play good. He
no.
played okay, but those 2 picks were not good. I understand he throws 4 touchdowns. And you look at the box score and you see, oh, they scored 51 points,
Yeah,
but their defense let up 34, and there was a
yeah,
lot of mistakes on offense. So
yeah.
they're vulnerable, and keep a close eye on Oregon this next round, man. That's all I got.
Yeah, yeah. I completely agree. That's all I have in that game. What about you?
Yep.
Okay, guys, moving on to our 2 NFL games. This game was knuck and fuss. The Packers playing the Bears. Eric, what was going on here?
Yeah, the Packers lose in a crazy game in overtime, 16-22, in Chicago. Are we buying stock in Caleb Williams?
I'll tell you what, man. We have been down on the Bears. I mean, we call out Caleb Williams' stat line like every week and how he has like basically a 50% completion percentage.
Yeah.
Um, this was the first game where on the big stage, he actually delivered. Um, Again, I'm not willing to do that. I'm not willing to buy stock after one game on this stage, but I'll tell you what, this was maybe the best game I've seen from him. He definitely did he get help from Jordan Love's concussion? Of course.
Yes.
But you still have to execute, and he's had real execution issues this season. It's been their elite defense under the leadership of Ben Johnson that's gotten them to 10-4 before this game. Um, this was the first game where I was genuinely impressed by Caleb Williams, and I know they only scored 22 points, but he made the throws when he needed to. He didn't make a lot of mistakes. Um, you know, mistakes being turnovers, and yeah, man, I liked what I saw. I liked what I saw from him, but I'm not willing to buy stock completely just yet. To answer your question,
Yeah. Um, yeah, like you said, the injury to Jordan Love, that hurts. I mean, literally, it does.
it does.
You know, he was playing a decent game. He was 8 for 13, 77 yards, no touchdowns. He didn't have enough time because he got injured, but great game. I mean, that's a good start to the game, and I think it does go differently. Malik Willis held his own in there, man. 9 for 11, 121 yards and a touchdown. That's a solid game for a backup quarterback. I
Was
like
not bad
Malik Willis.
on the
Um,
road. On the road, that's tough.
yeah, and against a division opponent in a hard, gritty game. And this Packers defense looked good without Micah Parsons. They only let up 22 points to honestly an explosive, surprising to say this, an explosive Bears offense right now.
Yeah,
Everyone's been, spreading the ball out amazingly. Whatever Ben Johnson has going on right now, just keep doing it. It's working. DeAndre Swift played good. He went 13 carries, 58 yards, no touchdowns. But Monangai, like I said 2 weeks ago, he's starting to get into that role a little bit of slowly becoming the RB1 in Chicago. So that's a fun developing story there. And like you said, Caleb Williams, we talked about him 2 weeks ago when they played the Packers.
yeah.
Good game, 19 for 34, 250 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. That's a clean game. I mean, you can't complain if you're a Bears fan. Because that's a huge win, huge clutch throw in overtime from Caleb Williams and DJ Moore.
That was
What a
gorgeous.
connection that was. What a great throw. And
Yeah,
you know me on this show, I don't really praise Caleb. I don't really honestly like Caleb Williams that much. But he's slowly becoming tolerable and likable to me, I guess, a little bit, just a little
yeah,
bit after that game.
yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah,
I mean,
man.
I'm not a huge fan of him. I wasn't a huge fan of him in college, but he's slowly stepping it up and becoming into a good player where he can hold his own in this league, and it's proven.
Yeah, man. I think it'll be really interesting to see him next week on Sunday Night Football in San Francisco.
Yeah.
That's going to be a really interesting game to watch. If he wins that one, we might have to buy stock in him. I think we
I'm
would have to.
slowly I mean, I'll put a penny into him. I mean,
Sure. Yeah,
yeah,
I'm with.
this is he's playing good football, and it's and like you, I mean, do you like Caleb? Are you a Caleb Williams fan? Would you say?
No, I thought
Right.
honestly the image that is still burned into my head every time I look at him is crying in his mom's
Yeah.
arm.
Exactly. Yeah, same here. I mean, that's when I really started not like him, and I
Yeah,
understand it's a tough loss, but he's slowly becoming. He's developing, and it's so hard to ignore it. And I try not to be biased and show bias on the show, but
yeah,
he's really becoming into a guy that can stick around and really become something in this league. And he's the Bears savior right now. I mean, they love him in that city, and rightfully so. I mean, they've been cycling through quarterbacks for what? Oh my, like 10,
yeah,
15 years now
yep.
of just poor performance, losing seasons, and they got some here with this Caleb Williams kid. So I like to see it. Happy for the Bears, happy for their fans. Good game, and honestly, happy for Caleb Williams.
Yeah, man, this was just this organization kills every quarterback that they touch. I mean, they're not the Jets or the Browns, but they're close in terms of like ruining QBs, and they have gotten their hands on a QB that I think they can build around. And unlike the Browns, they're not tossing him to the wolves, right?
Right.
They're not throwing him away like the Browns threw Baker away. Um, yeah, man, I'm with you. I'm not a big Caleb Williams fan personally, but he has the tangibles, and it took him a bit to become a solid QB. But I mean, he's probably the second best young QB we've got in the sport right now, behind Drake May. He's really starting to play well. Again, I'm not buying in. This is one game on the big stage, but if he can play really well next weekend next weekend, in prime time on the road against a really solid 49ers team, admittedly one that's beaten up, but still a very good team. They're winning with those injuries still in place. Um, we might have to buy stock and go all in. So I wouldn't say I'm buying stock, but I'm on the precipice. I'm
Yeah,
on the precipice.
completely agree.
That throw to DJ Moore was gorgeous.
Yeah,
Truly.
great ball and so clutch. Really impressed. So yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah. Yeah, man. As for the Packers, I guess this will be my only kind of statement. The injuries are really going to hurt him, and they're really going to kill him, and we'll see how far they can really go right now, but right now it's not looking good. So,
Yeah, and I mean I like Jordan Love. I hope a speedy recovery for him. You know, he's a good young talent in the league.
yeah.
Obviously you're gonna be good. You're mentored behind Aaron Rodgers. But I mean, I like him. So
Yeah.
Malik Willis showed up though. I mean, you can't really deny it.
He really did. You're
Which was
right. He
I
really
was
did.
very impressed by his play.
Yeah, I was surprised how well he played too. So, I mean, uh, obviously the big one is Parsons, right? And
Yep.
we'll see how they can navigate. But the Packers aren't dead yet. They're just it's looking like more and more likely that they're going to have to play in the wild card, which I don't think anyone
Mhm.
really saw at the beginning of the season when we were all hailing them as Super Bowl contenders.
Yeah.
But that's the way it happens, man. I mean, you
Yep.
never every any given Sunday. That's
Yep.
all I got to.
Yep.
Okay, guys, last game. This was another Knuck and Futz game. I had no idea what I was watching half the time. A lot of this game was watched in a state of disbelief, but it was just absolutely insane. So, Eric, what was going on when the Steelers visited the Detroit Lions?
Yeah, the Steelers win it 29-24 on a crazy final sequence and just a crazy game at whole. I mean, Jared Goff played good. He threw 54 passes but he had 34 completions, 364 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. He got sacked 3 times. That's a decent game.
Yeah,
I guess. I mean, he's throwing the ball 54 times though. I
yeah,
mean, Dude, and I talk about when you throw the ball 40 times, you should have over 300 yards. If you're throwing for 54 times, you should have 1,000 yards, man.
Yeah.
54 times, that's unreal.
I understand that David Montgomery hasn't had a great year and is dealing with, ongoing, small injury
Give the
issues.
ball to Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yeah, Jahmyr Gibbs is right there. That's what I was gonna say. Like, you should
Yeah.
not be giving the ball and putting the ball in Jared Goff's hands 54 times. I like Jared Goff. He's had a real career resurgence in
Mhm.
Detroit, but no quarterback. None of them, even the elite ones, shouldn't. Tom Brady, you don't see Tom Brady throwing the ball 54 times in a game. I mean, you can't give the quarterback put that much of the game into his hands. And to be fair, it came down to the last play. So maybe it's
True.
just a result of us looking at the final result. But yeah, there's a case. Maybe that's the case here. But still, man, even if they won, I would say that looking forward to the playoffs, this I don't think that Detroit's going to make the playoffs at this point. But let's say they were. You can't go into a playoff game giving throwing pass plays 54 times. It just
No.
doesn't work.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think they were just desperate, and this is what they had.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree. Um, Javonte Williams had a good game, but I mean, aside from that, the Steelers defense played really good against a high-powered offense with a lot of stars all over the field.
yep,
You know, with Amon-Ra St. Brown, they shut him down.
they
4
did.
catches, 54 yards. That's a decent game, but if you're Amon-Ra St. Brown, I mean, you're gonna want 80 to 100 yards. Shut
Yeah,
down Jameson Williams as well. He's been hot recently and didn't allow a touchdown. Jahmyr Gibbs on the ground, he had 7 carries for 2 yards. David Montgomery had 4 carries for 14 yards. They just didn't run the ball. And
yeah,
that's okay. I mean, that's honestly one of the reasons they lost. And the Steelers, on the other hand,
yeah.
Aaron Rodgers, he played good. He's 27 for 41, 266 yards and a touchdown. But I really wanted to touch up on Kenneth Gainwell, man. He has been a huge spark for them in that offense recently, and he's been playing really good. He was their leading receiver. He had 5 receptions, 78 yards and a touchdown. On the ground, he's the third down back. So, but he had 9 carries for 50 yards. That rushing attack is really good right now with Jalen Warren. He had 14 carries for 143 yards, 2 touchdowns. Great game all around for the 2 running backs there.
And that one catch that Gainwell made is,
Oh yeah, man.
I mean, that's just insane.
Yeah, he was on the
That's like
ground and
that's typical Steeler bullshit. That
oh yeah.
fluky stuff that gets them to win random games against great opponents. That stuff always happens in game. Yeah, that catch is forever. He'll have a framed picture of that in his home.
Yeah, honestly. The $3 million man, Cam Hayward, shows up. He had a sack, and finally he does something. And
Yeah,
then, but and this is a big win for the defense that they held the Lions to this little amount of points. 24, that's a decent amount, but I mean, Jared Goff's throwing the ball 54 times. You know what's coming. But with TJ Watt out with that collapsed lung or whatever it is, Jack
yeah,
Sawyer stepped up in a big spot.
he did.
And I was really impressed by that. He had 3 tackles, but that's it. But they were big tackles in the game, and it made an impact.
Yeah,
He was all over the place, and then just it was really impressive how they can shut down high-powered offenses but just barely win the game. I mean, we saw it against the Indianapolis Colts. They shut down a good offense when Daniel Jones was still, was able to walk, and they shut him down, and they only won the game by like 4 points or whatever, but it was still a good game. So it's just really impressive to me that they're able to just sneak out wins just barely. And now they're leading the division, and they are gonna be probably the top spot. They I think they already clinched the division. No, they clinched it with a win against the Browns, but I mean they're gonna beat the Browns, so that season's over for Baltimore as well. Just really,
yeah,
really impressive stuff from the Steelers and the Lions. I mean, dude, if you have a high-powered offense like this with this many stars, you should be able to win more than 8 games. I mean,
yeah.
it's inexcusable.
Yeah, I mean, look, they've had so many. They have so many injuries, but
Yeah,
that can only excuse the defense so much, right? I
right.
mean, you can't let them do what they did. Just really bad look. It's not a good look at all. Not a good look at all. And yeah, the Steelers are just benefiting from a really, really bad division. Um, and yeah, at this point, oh, and also I guess we should say the dumbest winning season streak of all time continues.
Yeah, for
Yay!
Mike Tomlin, yes.
Woohoo! That's the reaction to no one.
Yeah.
It's the dumbest streak of all time. Why we keep celebrating this trash is beyond me. But the national media loves their Mike Tomlin, so I guess we have to, you know, just take it from ESPN and FS1. I don't know. We here at Catching the Facts tell you people the truth. We
Yeah.
tell our listeners the reality, and everyone who listens to us knows that Mike Tomlin should be gone. But that's a whole other that's a whole other conversation for another time. But yeah, big win for the Steelers, man. On the road, they were not favored at all. Yeah, fluky stuff helps them win. What else is new?
Yep.
Okay, that's all I have for that game. What about you?
Yeah, that's all I got.
Okay, guys, that is it for games. I guess Eric, because I mean, I know the games are 2 weeks out, but we should probably predict the quarterfinals, right?
Yeah, sure.
We probably should. Okay, guys, we're gonna go down the list of quarterfinal games, even though they are 2 weeks out, because we did them 2 weeks prior to the first round. We might as well do it again here. So, Eric, first game, Miami against Ohio State in the Cotton Bowl. To give you the update, Ohio State is favored by 9.5. They're going to win by 14. I'm telling you this right now. Miami, you said it earlier. Carson Beck, 100 passing yards in a playoff game. My God, 100 passing yards. Ohio State's just going to kill this team. I don't even think it's going to be close. Do you think Miami has a chance? And I know you're coming at this from a biased perspective, obviously, but do you honestly think that Miami has a chance against Ohio State? I don't think they have a prayer.
Yeah, the chance is really slim. I understand that Ohio State's a little bit vulnerable right now. With the loss, they didn't look good against Indiana, but from what I saw, Miami, they looked way worse. I mean, they looked like Akron out there. It was terrible. Ohio State's going to win by 20 plus, probably. 9.5 is not big enough. And we said it against Indiana. We were actually wrong when they opened up as 3.5 point favorites, but this is not Indiana. This is Miami and a Carson Beck led offense. Get out of college, dude. You're like 40 years old. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't like Carson Beck. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree, man. I think Ohio State has that game in the bag.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, guys. Next game that'll be happening, the Orange Bowl. This is Oregon against Texas Tech. Now, Texas Tech's offense has been all over the place in terms of quality. Baron Morton having injury reoccurrences. He has not been the same since his injury. However, Eric, this is where I wanted to bring up the James Madison game. Oregon is currently favored by 1.5 points against Texas Tech. I think that is kind of nuts considering they gave up 34 points to James Madison. If they gave up 34 points to James Madison, that means that Baron Morton can score 30.
Yeah.
Right?
Uh-huh.
And the reality is that Texas Tech's defense is really, really good. Like very good. They are a very good defense. I think Oregon's running backs are very, very solid, but Dante Moore is super hit or miss, right? We've been talking all season about how inconsistent he is. I think there's a very good chance that Dante Moore has a bad game and doesn't show up here. And again, Oregon had so many issues on defense against James Madison that I honestly believe that Texas Tech can do enough to win this game. So I'm actually going to go against the spread. I think that Texas Tech will squeak this win out. It will be close because, again, it's hard to truly judge that defense when they've basically only been playing Big 12 opponents. And their only difficult matchups have been the two games against BYU, right? But still, I believe that this team is legit, and I'm gonna go with Texas Tech. I'm taking a chance here. I'm taking a flyer. I don't know if it's gonna work out for me, but I saw a lot of issues with Oregon against James Madison.
Yeah, me too. Offense looks good in the sense they can score points. Dante Moore, I mean, dude, you got to play better, man. It's just
Yeah,
you can't throw 2 picks against Texas Tech and expect to win the game. And their defense is better, like you said, than JMU. I mean, it's just the truth.
yeah,
Um, it's really hard to pick against Oregon right now, just because of the season they had and just because how good they have looked despite that game. Um, Texas Tech, I mean, they've had a great year. They've looked good as well. This is kind of 50-50 for me. It's a toss-up. Um, hmm. I'll go Oregon just to be
Okay.
different from you. I'll go Oregon. They'll win by probably 3 or something. It's gonna be so close. It's really
It
hard to
will be.
tell, but
It will be.
Dante Moore, if he steps up, the game is over. If he makes
Yeah,
mistakes,
no, if Dante
it's
Moore
gonna
plays
be
well, they
really bad. Um,
yeah, completely
yeah.
agree. Yeah, if Dante Moore plays well, they win. Plain and simple. It
Yep.
comes down to him. Bear Morton doesn't make a ton of mistakes, but he's not elite. Dante Moore at his best is elite. If he
Yeah.
plays at an elite level, they win the game and they can overcome the Texas Tech defense. If not, they lose. Plain and simple.
Yep. Pretty much it.
Okay. Next game, guys, the Rose Bowl. We have Indiana and Alabama. Alabama coming off a massive comeback against Oklahoma. Um, great victory for them. I think they were able, Eric, to use the SEC championship loss to springboard them, which was impressive. Um, do you think they beat out Indiana, or at least keep them competitive? Right now, the spread on this game is Indiana by 6.5, and I think that that's kind of appropriate. I think Indiana wins, similar to how they beat Oregon by like 10. So I think that's what I would go with
Yeah.
personally.
If Alabama defense starts off slow like they did against Oklahoma, it's not going to be the same result. They have to start out strong. I understand that Mendoza's coming off a Heisman. Both these teams have a lot of momentum right now. Alabama just has a great comeback victory. Indiana wins the Big Ten championship, and Mendoza wins the Heisman. That's a lot of motivation for both of these teams. I still think Indiana has more heart, and Mendoza, I want to see him succeed. He's playing out of his mind right now. He's playing good. Um, and like I said, I don't think if Alabama's defense starts slow and they go down like 14-0, the game's over.
I
They're
agree.
not going to get a comeback against a good Indiana defense, like they were able to do against Oklahoma. So I think Indiana wins.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be one of those 27-17
Yeah, yeah, it's
games.
gonna be a close game. I think it's just that it depends if Indiana starts out hot or not. If they start
I
out hot,
yeah,
there's no turning back.
yeah, I agree with you. I think Alabama got lucky with the fact that Oklahoma's offense is not good right
Yeah,
now. They're not going to get that lucky with the Heisman winner staring them down.
exactly.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens there. But I agree with you. I think Indiana wins. And the last matchup, guys, the Sugar Bowl, which is basically a home game for Georgia. I don't know how that worked out. But yeah, Georgia will be playing Ole Miss. Georgia beat Ole Miss. I just looked it up here, 43-35 back in October, which proved to be a really big game for Georgia. Kind of coming back after their choke job against Alabama a couple weeks prior. Um, we've talked about this a lot, Eric. It's hard to beat the same team twice in one year. Texas Tech did it against BYU. Other teams have done it. Um, Georgia is favored by 6.5. I think that Georgia will win, but I actually do not think they will cover the spread. I think it's going to be like a 3-point game. I think it's going to be really tight. I think Ole Miss, that the Tulane game proved that they are going to fight like hell for Pete Golding. I think they're motivated in that locker room right now, as motivated as they can be, given their coach ditched them. Um, and I think that they're going to be able to use that momentum to really give Georgia some trouble. Georgia, but at the end of the day, Georgia just has the more talented roster, and I think that will allow Georgia to win the game. But I would be surprised if this is a multi-score victory. I would be really surprised. I think it's going to be like a 3-4 point win, personally.
Yeah, like you said, it's gonna be close. Georgia's offense looks good, but so does Ole Miss. Man, that game really opened my eyes. I understand it's Tulane; they're not the best. They don't have the best, really anything.
Yeah.
But now they're playing a good Georgia defense. It's gonna be tough for them to win. And it's a neutral site, but like you said, it's basically a home game for Georgia. Ole Miss fans should be able to travel well. I would
They
believe,
will.
I would hope for their
And they probably
team.
sold, I'm sure they're just going to sell half the stadium.
Right.
That
Yeah. Yeah.
happens at all the games. Yeah.
Yep. So, but yeah, I don't think 6.5. That I think that's a decent line, honestly. I don't hate it. I think Georgia does win this game. But like you said, it's gonna be close.
Yeah, completely agree. So guys, there are our quarterfinal predictions. I guess we should look ahead to next week. Not a lot of great bowl games, Eric. I mean, we do have the Penn State and Pitt games, right, on Saturday. We've got Penn State, Clemson, and Pitt, East Carolina. I would be surprised if there's a lot to discuss about either game, but
Yeah.
never say never. I mean, I'm sure they're going to be interviewing Matt Campbell in the booth during the game. So, I mean, we'll see if he says anything important. I know they're trying to look for. There was a report that came out that are looking for an elite defensive coordinator. To which I said, "Who isn't? What a nothing headline! I don't care if they're looking for one. Let me know when they hire one." Um, we'll see if there's anything there. I doubt it though. Georgia Tech BYU, that could actually be a solid game. I think both teams are pretty evenly matched. Um, both relying on a lot of ground game. I mean, that could be relatively entertaining, but and Virginia, Missouri isn't that bad either, but this is this is definitely, a filler week of games of bowl games. Georgia Tech, BYU being the only one against where a ranked team is playing a ranked team. So we'll see if there's any big games there. Are there any NFL games you're looking forward to next week? I mean, I know we have the Christmas Day roster is awful. Have you looked at the Christmas Day
Oh,
games that
dude, it's so bad, man.
oh, Cowboys, Commanders, Lions, Vikings, and Broncos, Chiefs. Kill me. Those are three awful games, guys. I mean, uh, who's gonna? I'll do my best to watch some of the later ones, but I think they're gonna. I don't think any. I think I suspect the ratings for those games are gonna be dog shit. But I'll be proven wrong. But those are just
Yeah.
three
The
games.
NFL keeps trying to go, this route of playing games on like Black Friday. Why are we
Yeah,
playing games on Christmas? I mean, you open Christmas, you open up your TV on Christmas, you're gonna be watching NBA. Nobody wants to watch
yeah,
football. Nobody wants to watch, the NFL on Christmas, especially with these, like you said, horrible games, man. These are terrible. Cowboys, Commanders, Lions, Vikings, Broncos, Chiefs. Half of these teams are already eliminated from the playoffs. Why do I
yeah.
want to watch this game? Why do I want to watch any of these?
Uh, Look, Eric. Only one of them is. Only one. The Broncos. The
Yeah,
Lions
man.
are probably out after this Steelers victory, and the Cowboys are out too.
Yeah.
So literally, it's just the Broncos. I
Commanders are
mean,
dead in the water. Vikings suck. I mean, dude, this is terrible, man.
it's bad. Honestly, now let's be fair. This is a Thursday. Christmas fell on a Thursday
Yeah.
this week, but
Yeah.
I mean, they play Christmas games on Tuesday. I mean,
Right.
it's ridiculous. So the calendar worked for them this year, but in general, I agree. No one wants to watch Christmas Day games of football. No one wants to watch, especially like 1 p.m. games. Last year that Steelers game was a disaster. Not just because the result for the Steelers, just it was a bad game. So yeah, the Christmas Day schedule is really bad. Um, Looking ahead, I mean, none of these games are good at all. I mean, the Jaguars, Colts, if the Colts can can continue to be respectable with Phillip Rivers, I mean, I guess that game could be, mildly competitive. We'll see what happens. I'm not completely convinced that that game will be a banger, but um, I mean, we'll see. Other than that, just a really weak slate. I mean, Eagles, Bills, both teams are mid. Bears, Niners, we talked about that game. That's probably going to be a good game. I hope that game delivers, Eric, so that we have a good game to talk about.
I know
um,
we're gonna be talking about the Reliquest Bowl if not, man.
right? We're
This is
going to
a
be
ter-
sticking them on
this
the
is a
barrel.
terrible week of games we got right now. We're struggling
Yeah,
here.
you're right. I
We're
mean,
gonna try
maybe
and give you
Texans
guys a
Chargers,
good show, but
right? Maybe Texans Chargers delivers, but I
yeah,
doubt
I mean
it.
they definitely could.
I mean,
Two.
the Texans offense is just so inconsistent. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't show up. So, uh,
Yeah.
yeah, guys,
Now, I mean,
before, yeah, yeah,
with respect to the Christmas Day games, on paper, these teams were supposed to all be good. I mean,
Sure. You're right.
so
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't care. I don't care about, hindsight's 2020. I don't care.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
I'm sorry. I just don't. And again, in general, these Christmas Day should not have NFL games. It just shouldn't. I very strongly believe that, but you know, is what it is. Um, that's all I have for this week. What about you?
Yeah, that's all I got, man.
Okay, guys. So thank you so much for listening to this episode of Catching the Facts here on the Catching the Facts official podcast network. We are dropping this episode on Christmas Eve, so I would just like to extend a very Merry Christmas to all of our listeners. Just a little side note to end the show. A number of people who I sadly have not spoken to in a number of years reached out over the last couple weeks, sending me their Spotify Wrapped numbers. And Eric, we're in a lot of their like top 2 or 3 podcasts
That's
for the
awesome.
year. And again, these aren't close family members. These are people who again I wish I spoke to more, but I can't say I do. Guys, yeah, I just want to say thank you again from the bottom of my heart, and again, I'm sure I speak for Eric here as well. Thank you so much for your support. It truly means the world to the both of us. Next season, I'm not going to divulge details in case some stuff doesn't work out, but Eric and I have a lot of really ambitious plans for how we can expand the show moving forward. We just want to make it bigger and better and more entertaining for you guys. And the fact that our foundational audience is so loyal already, truly means the world. And it shows that this show is going places. Yeah, it was a great early Christmas gift to see those Spotify Wrapped stuff numbers that you guys sent me, and you know who you are. Thank you so much. Um, yeah, it's cool, Eric, that we have such a great audience, right? I mean, it's so wonderful.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So yeah, guys, thank you again so much, and Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you, Eric, as well. I
Merry
hope you have a
Christmas to
great
you.
day. Um, and yeah, guys, thank you so much for listening. You guys are probably going to listen to this on the 26th. I get it. Uh, I don't blame you. But in case you're listening to this after the holiday, I hope your holiday went really, really well. So we will see you guys next week. Again, don't forget we post every week, every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. New episodes on both Spotify and YouTube. Please follow us on both platforms. We really appreciate your support. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And again, we will see you next Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Until then, I'm your host, Dan Sisk,
And I'm Eric Schroeder.
and we'll see you then.